Are you rolling? I'm rolling. Let's talk Michigan.
What's up, guys? Melissa and Jesse here with Adventure Endeavor.
What's going on?
If you're new to our channel, we have been traveling the country in our RV for the past 2.5 years and documenting our adventures all the while.
And over the past few months, we've actually been going through Michigan. We started, where would you say we started in Michigan?
We started...
Probably in Muskegon. Would probably be like our first town we really started at. We camped near there. And basically we headed north and we did the whole Upper Peninsula. And this video is going to be a recap. We're going to talk about the highs and the lows, like the things we really like, things we didn't like. We're going to touch on internet. We're going to touch on boondocking and, you know, some of the must-see areas.
Let's get to it. So we were actually in Colorado during the springtime and we debated spending all summer out there, but we've been really wanting to come see Michigan for a long time. Ever since our first year on the road, everyone told us that we need to go to Michigan, we need to go to the Upper Peninsula in the summertime, and it's been on our list for quite a while.
It's far. So we had some friends that said they were going, and that was kind of what pushed us over the edge, and we're like, okay, well, let's go. People are going to be there. We can caravan with them. And we made the long trek from Colorado, visited her family in Cincinnati, and then we basically headed north. And we've been up here ever since, and we're glad we came.
Yeah, we had to kind of bomb it and make a big push to get over here. We spend most of our time in the West Coast and in the Rockies and stuff like that. So it was far, but it was definitely worth it.
All right, so if you've followed this channel for a while, you know we're huge boondockers. What is boondocking? It's basically camping for free in a national forest, state forest, or on BLM land. Up here, we knew it was going to be difficult, and it was true. It was very difficult. So not necessarily that we couldn't find spots, but we couldn't find spots with internet. It's very scarce. We do have all three carriers, all the major, you know, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. So we kept experience lots of times we would find a great spot, but then the internet would be too slow to work or what have you. We actually ended up staying 3 different times in the Mitten. This way? This way?
That way.
This way?
Yeah.
In the Mitten, we stayed 3 separate times at campgrounds for a full week, which is really rare for us. We used, you know, obviously Compendium's a huge app, and then we used iOverlander, and then we used Ookla, Speed Test by Ookla, because you can see maps of where there's cell service. It was difficult, but as we got more into the rhythm, we learned what to look for as far as finding locations. And then we learned how to gauge if there would be cell service. We take our Jeep quite often to go scout spots before, especially if we're making a short jump. And then also another thing that is huge that we use is Onyx Off-Road. We use that because it'll show you what land you are on when you're there. You can drop a pin and you can see that's this forest, that's that, this is private land. So that was essential, especially up here in Michigan.
One thing we were kind of nervous about coming up here was the bug situation.
Oh, mosquitoes biting me.
And we've always heard how bad the mosquitoes are, how bad the bugs are. You know, it's a very humid, very wet area most of the time. So we knew that there would be a lot of bugs. We got a lot of bug spray, but we actually didn't end up having to use it. And that was something that definitely surprised us. Apparently it's been quite of a dry year up here, which is not good because it's a drought and there have actually been forest fires. But for the bug situation, for us, we were able to benefit from that because we weren't getting bitten like crazy like we expected to be.
Something that really took me by surprise was the mountain biking. So we heard there was good mountain biking up here, but there's a lot of trails that were, I would say, epic. We did Boyne Highlands, which is a downhill park. That was probably our highlight as far as mountain biking goes. We rode in Munising. There's a lot of bike parks up here that are really well built, well designed, and you know, don't sleep on Michigan for mountain biking.
As far as favorites go, my favorite things that we did in Michigan were Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes. The sunset over Lake Michigan there was epic. I really liked Boyne Highlands Resort
That's
for the
probably
mountain
my favorite.
biking.
If you're a mountain biker, that should be on your list.
Yes, and I really liked Mackinac Island. It was very touristy, but
But it was fun.
We knew that going into it, and it wasn't as touristy as I expected it to be, so that was kind of a nice surprise. And then Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore
Yes.
was amazing.
So that's like a lot of the popular places, and to be honest, they're really cool, so they're definitely worth a visit. Probably one of my favorites was the Traverse City State Hospital.
Ooh, yes.
You get to explore the whole hospital. There's a lot of history. You get to go in the tunnels below. That should be on your list for sure. And then if you can find a way to get out on Torch Lake, you know, we're not big partiers. We don't even drink alcohol, but just to see all the shenanigans at the sandbar and to experience that was pretty cool. It was pretty wild. Not something I'd want to do every day, but glad we got to go there.
Yeah, it was definitely a really interesting experience for 4th of July because people get crazy out there.
Now we're gonna talk some cons that we experienced up here. And they may not be a big deal to you. They weren't even that big of a deal to us, but we just wanna mention them. So one thing that was really weird to me was that everything seems the same up here. So like we're in a forest and you wouldn't be able to tell that, you know, we're in Minnesota, but Michigan looked exactly the same. Basically the scenery didn't change at a pace that we're used to, because we're normally out west and the scenery changes like on a daily drive. Like you can be completely different from one day to another. Not a big deal, but it was just something that I guess caught us off guard and was a little strange. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely seems somewhat repetitive. Like the types of trees have changed a little bit from Michigan to now we're here in Minnesota while we're filming this. But other than that, it's pretty much all the same. There are obviously some incredible hikes like at Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore where you have some really cool views.
And the sand dunes.
Right.
But if you're not seeking those things out, like where you're gonna be camping your normal stuff, it's gonna feel all the same.
Right, and all of the hiking trails start to feel like they're exactly the same as well. They're all very heavily treed, rooted, relatively flat, and that's just, it's just, like I said, it all sort of started to blend together, and it was less than exciting, I guess, every time we would go out to do a new trail. Seeing different waterfalls and different features like that was great, but a lot of the trails themselves, if you're into hiking, that's what we experienced.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is all the same.
And let's not forget Traverse City State Park.
Yeah, that was good for what we needed it for, which was getting to a lot of different attractions and nearby places like Traverse City State Hospital, Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Yeah.
We went cherry
Leland.
picking. Yeah, we went up to the Mission Point Lighthouse.
Yep.
Right?
But overall, that campground was just very close proximity to others, very cramped. Just not what we're into, but it was good for the location.
Yeah, we did a whole video on that actually. If you are curious to hear our full review of Traverse City State Park, we will link that below.
Bottom line, is Michigan worth the trip?
100%, yeah.
100%. We had an incredible summer. There's a lot to do, and there's a lot that we probably didn't even see. So if there's, you know, if you look through our series of Michigan videos and there's something we missed, let us know, because we will be making notes, because we will be back for sure.
Yeah, we kind of thought this might be a one and done kind of a state, but we were definitely wrong. It's been very surprising and so much cool stuff out here, so much to do, so much to see, and we really only scratched the surface. We only spent about 5 weeks in the state, so we're definitely going to come back and definitely looking for your recommendations next time we come.
Yeah, so overall, great state, a lot to do. Cell can be tricky, camping can be tricky, but it's worth it. A lot of people do say that you need to plan ahead for campsites. which is true, but you also can boondock if you're into that. So like always, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next video.